Hey, Watchaholics. So this episode, this episode was, the garbage behavior continued.
Is stressful.
It continued and it excelled to another level, and I can't. Jeramey and Sarah Ann, just garbage behavior, and the things that were said. I mean, I'm still shook. So let's just get straight into it. So Sarah Ann joins the party. As we know in the last episode, they're all having this like lake house reunion party thing. And of course, they're going to invite all the people from the pods. So Sarah Ann joins. Jeramey is basically like shitting his pants basically at this point because he's like, fuck, great. Now I have to deal with Laura and Sarah Ann. And my favorite was when she got there. I'm pretty sure it was Laura that says this. Laura's like, she had the audacity to come here. I said, I mean, she ain't wrong. She ain't wrong. That was pretty ballsy of her after Sarah Ann realizing that she's probably the catalyst of this like broken engagement. So yeah. We have Chelsea and Trevor having a good old chat. And again, like I said in my last episode, I could not look at Trevor and not think about the lies that were told to us, how we believed that this guy was such a great guy and he was a liar. He's actually the real con artist here. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I could not. Anytime he was talking, it was like he was like really trying to put himself out there to be like, oh, like what we had, like, but are you sure that you made the right decision? He asked her pretty much the same thing he had asked her in the pods, like, if I would have come into the room first, would you have said yes? And Chelsea just says no. Now, granted, this conversation, it wasn't, I think, as like I don't want to say PG, but like Chelsea and Trevor were definitely like, I think. It felt like Chelsea kind of was leaving a little door open a little bit more than technically Jimmy and Jessica did. Not that she said, hey, call me later, but like, I don't know. She was just like, oh, I love you. What we had was so special. All of this crap, right? I wasn't a fan of it, but of course it's Chelsea. We're not a fan of her this season, and I'm sure most of America isn't either. So, like I was saying, Trevor was just trying to act like a good man, and the whole time I was like, liar, you're a liar.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
I literally couldn't. I legit could not deal with him. Could not. Her name Chelsea is basically saying that Jimmy was still the right choice. And it was so weird because, you have Jimmy like come up to them and he's like, oh, I love this guy. And they're like hugging each other like, oh, I'm so happy for you. Like, it's just weird. And obviously he's this close to him because obviously he didn't really care about marrying Chelsea. But, guys, I'm just wondering, like, what would have happened if Chelsea would have said yes? Like, would Trevor be like, actually, never mind? Like, would he have continued the whole thing? Would they have gone to the altar and then it would have come out that he had a girlfriend the whole time? Like, what was their plan if she had said yes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, would he just never have proposed? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But I wonder what would have happened, to be completely honest. Then we have Jimmy and Chelsea having like a little bit of a fight after that. And not about Trevor, but just because, what's her name? Because Chelsea says about Amy and Johnny, like, oh yeah, there's the strongest couple in the room, and that aches him hard. He's just like, why would you say that? And she's like, oh baby, it was a joke. You know it wasn't a joke. Girl, you know it wasn't a joke. You said that on purpose because that's how you feel. Y'all are struggling no matter how many times you try to project happiness, that you're the happiest couple and that you don't have any problems kind of look, when we all know that it is a lie. But yeah, they kind of get into like a little bit of a tussle. Tussle? Is that the word? Is that the word? Tussle? Tussle? Is that the word I want to say? But, eventually they're fine. But you can tell that Jimmy kind of gets a little bit like ifs about it. Which, granted, we all know he's going to say no. So why even act like you're pissed? You're not the strongest in the couple. You're not the strongest couple. You're not. You're not. Stop acting like you are. Because you both know that you are not. And you're projecting lies to the rest of this group. And to yourselves by trying to convince yourselves that you don't have arguments or fights, that you have conversations. Again, with that episode, Yo. Okay. Okay, so let's get into the juice of this episode. Because really, after the lake house, it kind of just gets a little bit boring because it's just the like, yay, we're going to go see the justice thing, which don't give a F about really ever most of the time. But this is when the juice really starts. So we have Jeramey and Laura have a nice little chat by the lake. So Laura doesn't even sit. She is standing while this guy's sitting, and he's saying like, oh, well, I didn't like that you were being mean to me. I tried to be nice by sending you flowers. She's like, bitch, I do want flowers. I do not want flowers from you. Like, that is not going to solve the situation. And then so he's like, oh, well, you didn't have to be like that. Like, I'm trying to come at it from a positive point, a positive angle. She's like, excuse.
Oh, hell no.
I'm sorry, what? She's literally saying what I always say on this channel. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Sir, did you forget about what you did? Did you think flowers is going to solve this situation? Boy, bye. Boy, bye. Goodbye. Like, I do not understand what you were trying to say by being like, oh, I was trying to come from a positive place here. Disgusted by the behavior, especially by him not taking any accountability for what happened. That is the most shocking part. We're still talking about how like, oh, well, you were being mean to me. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, what did you expect? Did you expect me to be like, oh, yes, honey, let's get back together. I love you so much. Bye. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Goodbye. Into the garbage. You must live. Garbage behavior. Garbage behavior. But the best freaking line. Oh, my God. Laura, this was the first time I ever really, like, appreciated Laura's words, even though she's saying all these things, but I'm like, I mean, you chose him, though. You chose him. But anyway, she did roast him. She put him on a little marshmallow. He was on a little marshmallow, and she put him in the flames. Oh, my God. She roasted him so hard, and I was here for every freaking second of it. It was beautiful. The way she called him a con artist. She said, you, on the other hand, are a con artist. Oh, my God, when she says that, I'm like, bitch, I live for what you said. I live for it.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment.
And then my favorite line. She said, go kick rocks with open-toed shoes. I mean, what a line. What a line. That is the last words that you will ever hear from Laura are, go kick rocks with open-toed shoes. I mean, it's so good. It's so damn good. Oh my God. Laura, appreciate you for that. Appreciate you for that freaking thing. Oh my God. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad she roasted him, put him in his place. She did not give a fuck. She was like, sir, you are an asshole. I never want to hear from you again. I never want to see you again. You are the worst. Get out of my life. Like, goodbye. I mean, yeah, she's hurt by the situation later on. You do see her kind of really breaking down and being really sad about how he never chose her and things like that. But my favorite thing is just like she's the one thing though that gets me in the conversation though is that she's just like, you are not a man, you were never a man, you blah blah, all these things about what she knew about him. I'm like, yeah, then why'd you choose him? If you knew he was these things, why did you choose him? That's the only thing. I'm like, girl, but you chose him. Yeah, of course you didn't expect him to come around and betray you like he did, but you chose him. You did. At the end of the day. Which is talking now, let's get into speaking of who chose who in situations. AD and Sarah Ann. Oh, AD girl. AD girl. I love you. Precious in this moment. So she sits down Sarah Ann and basically lets her know like, hey girl, I saw the DM. Do you think it was right for you to DM a married man? Or excuse me, DM a engaged man? That's basically what the whole thing was. And there was so much passive aggressiveness in this conversation that it was beautiful to watch on TV. I mean, it was reality TV gold. Gold to see the passive aggressiveness between these two women like talking about the situation. But the most ridiculous part about this and the most garbage behavior, Sarah Ann just kept digging her heels on the fact that what she did wasn't wrong. She was like, no. She's like, you didn't think it was wrong you knew he was engaged. Did Jeramey leave the door open? And she's like, well, I knew Jeramey really well. And I could tell by the way that he was talking to me that, yeah, I think he was leaving the door open. He even told me that, like, he was going to break up with Laura. I said, girl, bye. Girl, bye. You and Jeramey deserve each other. You both do. You deserve each other because this is garbage behavior. You both should go live in a garbage bin forever. Oh, my God. I literally couldn't. And my favorite part was that AD kept being like, girl, he didn't choose you though. He did not choose you. Why are you going after this man? Slay! And the worst part is that she goes, Sarah Ann says, well, I don't want to be a pick-me. Girl, that is exactly what you're doing. You were literally inserting yourself saying, hey, by the way, if it doesn't, if you feel like the door's open, like, pick me. That's literally what she's saying, even though she's telling AD that she doesn't want to be that girl. Girl, that is who you are. That is the definition of a pick-me, exactly what you're doing. Why would you decide when you get home, like, you know what, let me message him and see if if maybe he's changing your mind. Girl, he is an engaged man. Whether you felt different about it or not, you should not get involved because now you are considered a homewrecker. That is what you home-wrecked this freaking relationship. For what? I don't know. Are they still together? Are they together now? I don't know. I guess we'll find out at the reunion. But my God. I was so happy when AD just called her out for her BS. She was like, girl, he didn't pick you, and it was not right what you did. And AD's just like, I don't stand for this home wrecking behavior. Absolutely not. I am Team Laura. I said, damn, we're picking teams? Teams? Okay. Team Laura it is. So then Sarah Ann and Jeramey go and have a little conversation.
No! God, please, no! No!
And of course, it's two people that are in the wrong, obviously agreeing with each other because they're both in the wrong. It's hilarious, but also ridiculous to watch. But Sarah Ann is just like, well, fuck them. I don't give a fuck about them. I was in this experience too, and I deserve the right to have my feelings. I am a realist. I said, girl, if you're a realist, then why didn't you realize that he didn't pick you? He didn't pick you. That is the reality. He did not choose you. And of course, why would you sit down with the number one culprit of con artistry and say, look, do you think what I did was wrong? Obviously he's going to say no because this is why he's in this conversation with you, trying to egg you on, trying to be like, yeah, what you did wasn't wrong. Thank you so much for coming to me and, asking me if I wanted to open up because, I think I made the wrong decision. Girl, he didn't choose you. Oh my God. And of course, if you ask him, oh, do you think it was wrong that I messaged you? He wouldn't be sitting next to you right now if he thought it was bad. He would have been with Laura, telling you, hey, you probably shouldn't have done that. But that's not the case. Why? Because he's a con artist. Why? Because he has monstrous behavior that is actually scary to watch on TV. It's scary. The lack of accountability that he had in this whole conversation with Laura today, or just in the whole situation, not even the conversation, but the whole situation, and that both of them are not taking accountability for their actions is astonishing. And they deserve each other. I hope they jet skied into paradise together. I hope they're happy in jet skis. Yeah, because that's exactly what they do. They're like, oh yeah, like, do you just want to get out of here? Do you want to go jet skiing? And the whole time they're there, freaking everyone's watching them. It was just rude behavior. Absolutely rude, horrible behavior. I hated it. Did it make for great TV? Absolutely. But God, it was disrespectful. It was disrespectful. The whole time you see, Laura talking about how he didn't protect her heart, that he should have just picked Sarah Ann because clearly he didn't want to be with her. He kept the door open and it just was all for nothing. And basically in the end, she hates his guts. She's like, I will never see that man again. Now granted, they're probably going to see each other at the reunion, which I can't wait. Guys, I cannot wait for the reunion. Do you think that they're really going to show the receipts at the reunion? Because my God, I will never get over the Zinab and Cole receipt scene. The receipts on that scene, on that moment, live rent-free in my mind, because the fact that Netflix was like, all right, sure, we'll show the tangerine scene or the clementine scene. It's funny, actually, I had just this on my table and I thought it made perfect sense. But yo, when that happened, I said, Netflix, roll the tapes. Roll the tapes. I loved it. But anyway, then we now just go into kind of the rest of the episode, which was pretty much nothing really happened. You had Jimmy and you had all the couples like doing activities together. So you had Jimmy and Chelsea making ice sculptures for their wedding, which Jimmy's going to say no at, but whatever. You have AD and Clay doing their own customized sneakers by painting them. That sounds really cool. Never thought about that, but that's cool. You have Amy and Johnny. Again, they just seem so chill. And they have been creating this drama around them that is so ridiculous that I'm like, why? The only reason they're making this such a big deal is because they have no drama. And if they didn't have this one little thing, no one would care to watch them. And probably at this point, like, I don't even understand like why they're even airing their situation, because they don't have any drama. The only drama they're having is that they don't want to have an unplanned pregnancy, and it's the whole thing about having a vasectomy versus birth control, which I had been talking about in the comments before in my last episode with some other watchaholics about this, where it's like, why are they making this a life and death situation? Like, first of all, no vasectomy should be done. This is ridiculous. Why is it why? Like, it should not be a conversation. It just should not. It's actually ridiculous. And the fact that they're like highlighting this as such a big deal. I'm like, first of all, guys, y'all are almost 30 years old. You ain't 18. If you had a baby, you might be okay. Yes, having a child is hard, but the fact that they're highlighting this like they're 18 years old, and if they had a baby, it would be like the end of the world. I don't know. And, it's been one thing if you just never want to have kids, but they want to have kids. They just don't want to wait. They don't want to have them for like the next 5 years. I understand that. Not downplaying that. But at the same time, not Jeremy. Ew. Johnny's obsession with this is like, it really gives me the idea that he had like a scare. Like, he must have had a scare on a broken condom or something, because they will be fine. And I'm glad that in the end of it, like, she was like, yeah, I think I'm a little bit more open to the birth control. But there's so many other ways to prevent the pregnancies. And people keep talking about it in the comments and talking about it just in general. Like, you plan around ovulation. You also do birth. Like, there's so many other different ways to track this and to avoid getting pregnant. But anyway, I digress. In the end, they had this conversation about it, and then they're like, and it's funny because you could tell that they made them have the conversation, because they're just talking about like just regular life stuff, like, oh, do you want to have your last name? And he's like, oh, no, you do whatever you want, honey. Like, I'll support you, whatever. And then all of a sudden it's just like, so, wink, wink, we should talk about the birth control thing, right? We haven't talked about it in a while. I'm like, Netflix, come on. You could tell the producers were like, hey, can you guys talk about that a little bit more? Thinking that maybe they'd get somewhere, but obviously all they got was two people just being like, okay, yeah, we should do that. Love you. Hilarious. Then we have the section with the guys and the women trying on their suits and the dresses. Girls, of course, are all sobbing. AD was legit sobbing, like legit. Obviously, she was sobbing. She was like, fuck, I'm getting married. And she had beautiful dresses. I did like Amy's. It was very princessy, and she had a beautiful moment with her mom crying. That's what always happens. Everyone's always crying at their thing. Then nothing to even report with the guys. No drama, no care in the world. Then we had the last minute dates. We have AD and Clay who go on this like rooftop date. Didn't really cover much there. You have Johnny and Amy who were glamping. That was cute. They're living their best lives. And then you have Chelsea and Jimmy, which had a freaking shutdown of the Carowinds amusement park. Oh, okay. Y'all are special. Okay. Y'all got the whole amusement park to yourselves. Okay. They have like a kind of dinner at the amusement park, and the episode kind of ends with Jimmy asking her, hey, so I don't know where your head is at on the marriage. Like, are you thinking you're going to say yes? And then it ends on this like dramatic, like, well, guys, I mean, in both of these, I feel like the person who would say no would be Jimmy. But someone did point out that it was interesting that they haven't showed any clips of them at the aisle. And I keep saying at the aisle. I mean, at the altar. Now, I don't know if that's true. Let me know if you have seen it and maybe I've just missed it or for whatever reason. But when they show the preview for the next episode, they kind of ended this cliffhanger with not knowing what Chelsea would say. So maybe that's why they didn't want to show them at the altar, because then it would be like, well, obviously she says they go to the altar, obviously, right? So maybe they're just trying to keep everything back. But I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, that was the episode. That was episode 11. We have one more, which will be premiering this week. I'm really, really excited to see that go down, see who says yes, and of course, cover that here on the channel. Guys, what did you think about the garbage behavior of Sarah Ann and Jeramey down below? Please, let's sound off. Anyway, guys, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. It helps me out, helps out this channel. And if you're not already subscribed, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Why aren't you subscribed? Guys, if you're not, please click that subscribe button. Helps me out. Please make sure you click the notification bell so you know the next time I post my Love is Blind or Bachelor recap, if you are watching that. And if you didn't know, I am also covering The Bachelor on the channel, which I am absolutely loving this season. So if you're interested in that, please make sure you watch these playlists coming up right over here. All right, guys. See you in my next video. Bye. And I'm going to call him a clown. He's a clown. He's a clown.